You're watching Netrush Report, your home for the biggest tennis stories, emotional rivalries, and the moments that define the ATP and WTA tours. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a single update from the tennis world. The 2025 Vienna Open, Jannik Sinner lifted yet another trophy, but not without raising some serious concerns along the way. Despite winning the title, fans noticed that Sinner was visibly uncomfortable during the final against Alexander Zverev. His body language told a worrying story: frequent stretching, grimacing, and at moments, what looked like the early signs of muscle cramping. That's when former American ATP player Steve Johnson stepped in with a blunt take on the Nothing Major podcast. Johnson, known for his honest commentary and deep understanding of the physical grind of the sport, said Sinner's recent struggles are weird and not in the way fans might think. It's strange, Johnson explained. We've seen Jannik Sinner play 5-hour marathons at the majors, including the French Open final, without breaking down like this. And now he's cramping in matches that are much shorter and played in easier conditions. Something doesn't quite add up. It's true, the numbers don't make sense. At the 2025 Shanghai Masters, Sinner was forced to retire mid-match against Talon Griekspoor after severe cramping left him unable to walk. The heat and humidity were brutal, sure, but Sinner wasn't alone in suffering. Several players complained about the conditions, with some even calling Shanghai's humidity borderline dangerous. Still, what happened in Vienna was different. The Austrian indoor event offered mild temperatures and ideal playing conditions. Yet Sinner appeared to hit a physical wall again. His body stiffened, his movement slowed, and his team looked increasingly anxious courtside, even though he eventually rallied to defeat Zverev in 3 sets. That's what made Steve Johnson's comments so intriguing. The American isn't questioning Sinner's talent. In fact, he praised him for continuing to win despite the setbacks. Even when he's cramping, Johnson said, he's still better than almost everyone else out there. That's how good Jannik is. But it's worrying, because if this keeps happening, it could impact his longevity. And Johnson knows a thing or two about the physical toll of the tour. As a former world number 21, he's lived through the grueling travel, the varying climates, and the immense physical demand required to stay competitive week after week. His remarks carried the weight of experience and concern. Johnson reminded fans of Sinner's incredible endurance earlier this year at the 2025 French Open final. That match against Carlos Alcaraz is already being hailed as one of the greatest tennis battles ever played, a 5-hour, 29-minute epic that had fans on the edge of their seats. Sinner may have lost that day, but his resilience was legendary. Despite pushing his body to its limit, he barely showed signs of fatigue. If anything, the small muscle twitches in the 5th set seemed more like the result of emotional tension than physical breakdown. That's what makes the current situation so puzzling. How can a player go from surviving 5.5-hour clay court battles to struggling with cramps during a 2-hour indoor final? Experts have suggested several possibilities: a minor nutritional imbalance, dehydration, or even a recent tweak in training routines. But so far, neither Sinner nor his team has offered a clear explanation. Sinner's fans have started to notice a pattern, one that's as baffling as it is worrying. The cramps seem to strike randomly, not just in high-heat environments, but also in controlled indoor venues. Some fans believe it's related to mental fatigue. After all, Sinner's 2025 season has been one of relentless competition and pressure. From major finals to Masters events, the Italian has been in deep runs nearly every week. That kind of consistency comes at a cost. Others think the issue might be electrolyte-related, suggesting that Sinner's tall, lean build could make him more susceptible to dehydration or sodium loss under certain conditions. Sports scientists often point out that players' sweating rates, salt retention, and hydration habits can vary dramatically, even between elite athletes. But again, Johnson's point stands: it's just weird. There's also a psychological layer to consider. Cramping can sometimes be the body's way of responding to intense emotional or mental strain, not just physical exhaustion. Sinner's rise to the top has been meteoric. Now world number 2, he's constantly in the spotlight, carrying the weight of Italy's tennis hopes on his shoulders. Every time he steps on court, expectations follow. That it's worth noting that even during his struggles, Sinner rarely shows panic. His composure is one of his biggest weapons. In Vienna, after those early signs of fatigue, he gathered himself, adjusted his tactics, and came out swinging in the deciding set. That mental resilience is what makes him a champion, but also what may be pushing his body to the edge. Despite the red flags, Johnson ended his comments with a tone of admiration rather than alarm. He's one of the most complete players on tour, Johnson said. Even with these issues, he's finding ways to win. That's rare. But I do think his team needs to dig deeper, find out what's really causing this before it becomes something more serious. Johnson's words reflect a broader concern shared by many in the tennis community. Sinner's talent is undeniable, but if the cramping persists, it could prevent him from reaching his full potential or even threaten his chances in future Grand Slam marathons. All eyes now turn to the Paris Masters, where Jannik Sinner is the number 2 seed. He's set to kick off his campaign against Belgium's Zizou Bergs, a player who thrives on long rallies and relentless pace. The exact kind of opponent who could test Sinner's endurance again. Fans are watching closely. Will the cramping return, or will Sinner's team have found a solution in time? The Paris Masters will be a key indicator. With the ATP finals right around the corner, Sinner needs his body to be as sharp as his game. If he can stay healthy and pain-free, there's every reason to believe he can close out the season strong. Maybe even challenge Alcaraz and Djokovic for the year-end number 1. But if the cramps strike again, the conversation will shift from how far can he go to what's holding him back. No one doubts Jannik Sinner's heart, talent, or work ethic. But as Steve Johnson pointed out, something about these cramping episodes just doesn't make sense. And until the mystery is solved, it's going to hang over every one of his matches. Whether it's nutrition, training, or just the brutal demands of elite tennis catching up, fans can only hope the issue gets sorted soon. Because the game needs Jannik Sinner at his best, not battling his own body. That you've been watching Netrush Report, bringing you the latest updates, emotional moments, and inside stories from the world of tennis. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a single serve, rally, or controversy from the ATP and WTA tours.